Hey guys, Shot the Monkey here. So I want to bring you guys another Warplanes video, and this time we're going to cover a class of aircraft that I haven't touched before yet on the channel, which is the attack aircraft, and more specifically in this case the German Tier 5 attack aircraft, the Henschel HS-129B. So, ground attack aircraft, what do you need to know about them? Well, first of all, if you expect to do any real dogfighting or fighter killing or heavy fighter killing or anything like that, forget that. Your altitude performance is extremely limited across the board. As you can see here, maximum optimal altitude is 500. It says here service ceiling of 1500. Don't expect to ever get there. Your engines on this aircraft are especially weak even when fully upgraded. They lack the power, and you don't get an amazing top speed either. So don't expect to ever see that service ceiling. Your altitude, as I said, is really limited. Over 500, you really start to struggle with this aircraft. It's not the best in the world. Manoeuvrability is pretty poor as well. It's a pretty sluggish aircraft with it being ground attack aircraft. The roll rate isn't great, the turning time isn't brilliant. You lose a lot of speed if you start turning as well. Pulling any tight turns, you drain a lot of airspeed, so you can't really do turns, especially if you're climbing at a slight angle, even when performing those turns. Airspeed isn't brilliant either. Your cruising speed is pretty low. Your maximum speed, even with diving or with a boost on, is also pretty low. It's not too bad. You get a lot of boost with this aircraft, so you can at least shorten the travel time between one point and another, but you aren't fast by any stretch of the imagination, especially compared to other Tier 5 aircraft. The one thing you are very good with, though, is survivability. As you can see here with my aircraft, I've got 824 hit points, which is more than it gets without upgrades, because I've put equipment on mine, and of course, as you can see, I've got cruise skill down here as well, which further improves that. You get nice resistance to damage and fire, especially resistance to fire is very nice on this aircraft. Bombs and rockets, it says 0. There is an option to put bombs on this thing, but I don't choose to do that. Gun armament is also very tasty for this aircraft. You get two 20mm MG151s, which are mounted just here, two 7.92 MG17s mounted just here, and then you get the option of either having a 30mm cannon under the fuselage or a 37. Personally, as you can see here, I've gone with 30mm Mark 101, but there is the option of putting the 37 on there. The difference between these two guns is the 37 has higher damage output with each shot and a longer range, however it has a lower rate of fire. The 30mm has less damage per shot but has a higher rate of fire, and I believe you can fire longer with this thing before it overheats than the 37. So this makes it more of an effective aircraft for attacking other ground attack aircraft, or just hunting fighters that happen to stray too close to you, or for taking long range pot shots at fighters flying in a straight line, because you do have effective damage out to 1049 metres. And you can actually get damage all the way up to 1312 metres. And there's very few aircraft that expect to be, very few aircraft that expect you to reach out and touch them that far away. So you can take advantage of being able to fire out to, from 440 metres, which is where most of your guns are effective, all the way out to just over 1,000. And that is very nice to have in cases where you have to hunt aircraft down, or just need to defend yourself from somebody who you know is on the way in, or is trying to leave to get a boom and zoom attack run on you. Outside of that, this is one of two options you get at Tier 5 for German ground attack aircraft. There is this, and then next to it there is the Ju-87 Stuka. It's an aircraft I haven't researched yet, but I do intend to research and also cover on the channel, because I love both the Tier 5 German ground attack aircraft. I think they're both wonderful. I've loved this aircraft from coming over from War Thunder. This was one of my personal favourites, and was one of the first premiums I picked up that wasn't a fighter. And I absolutely love it. To me, this is kind of the duck build, kind of Platypus type aircraft. So I've affectionately named this thing the Mighty Duck, because that's just the way that these things go, I assume, like with nicknames and with aircraft appearances. She's not a pretty aircraft, but she's very tough. She's very sturdy. A lot of hit points for them to chew through, and the damage you can put out with all your guns being mounted, of course, on the fuselage and quite in line with the nose is very nice. The 30mm. Of course, the shells do drop out lower than the rest of the guns, but you will quite obviously see where those shells are going, because your machine guns and cannons fire yellow tracers, and the 30mm fires larger green tracers, so you can see where 30mm shots are going and quite easily aim that. And while they're not as consistent, they are they're not bad. It doesn't, of course, fire as much as your other guns will, but it fires enough that you can certainly do reasonable damage with it, especially to ground targets and to, of course, aircraft. Outside of that, it's been great fun flying this thing. As you can see, I've flown quite a lot of missions in this. I went and recorded a couple more earlier on today just to see if I could get any better footage, and I had 3 absolutely cracking games in it, which you'll see coming up. But this is a great fun aircraft. I absolutely love it. There's a lot of people that say that this isn't worth getting because the Stuka is just straight up better, because it's a better manoeuvring aircraft. It has, you know, ability to have guns in the back to defend itself, which the HS-129 lacks. And they'll say it's an all-round better aircraft. And to some extent, I agree with them. The Stuka is better than this, but it doesn't mean that this thing is any less fun or any less effective. Because whereas the Stuka only has 2 guns and they're mounted in the wing, this thing has 4 minimum, cannot go up to 5 guns, and they're all nose mounted. So there is a lot of firepower that this thing can put out, which the Stuka, in my opinion, just can't match. This thing has a lot of versatility in regards to what things it can deal with outside of ground targets and how effectively it can deal with aircraft. So yeah, this to me is just a cracking little aircraft, and I've absolutely loved flying it. And I hope you guys, if you come and watch this video, will, if you check it out, then yeah, you should. Hope you guys enjoy flying it too. It's great fun. There's very little to worry about with this. It's just, you know, fly over to an objective, put ground targets in the gun sight, and just give them the good news, and just keep doing that until either you are shot down or you capture the objective, and then just rinse and repeat. But yeah, that's enough for me talking about this aircraft. I'll let you guys get on with watching the battles I've got lined up for you. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.
enemy is launching rockets at us from the military base. Take action. They've almost got us. Pilots, we are losing the initiative. Push harder. Almost all enemy aircraft are destroyed. I'm proud of you, pilots. Head back home. Enemy bombers inbound. Don't let them reach their target. There's a heavy storm here. Unable to proceed. Returning to base. Do you copy? They've captured the airfield. We need to regain these positions immediately. The command centers are under our control. Communication with the headquarters established. You've done what you could. Go back to base. complex. Try to neutralize the enemy military base. Be advised, a line of thunderstorms is approaching. We'll soon be unable to provide support. Step it up. We're losing the battle. Almost all enemy aircraft are destroyed. Great job today. We'll be waiting for you back home.